Hey kids, I hope everybody's having a fantastic day. Whether you're watching this in the morning, in the afternoon, or in the evening, I'm glad you're here. Real quickly, I want to say thank you to all the channel members. I appreciate you all. And thank you to anyone who comes in and takes time to watch my knife, my ADC content. I appreciate you more than you know. This is another knife that has been lent to me by my local buddy, my brother from another mother, A to Z EDC. He lives here in my hometown. We go to Blade Show and stuff together. He is on Instagram. If you guys are on Instagram, give him a follow at A to Z EDC. He's got some really cool knives. He's going to continue to let me bring some into the collection to share with you guys and then carry them for a week and do a review. So this is kind of going to be an unboxing, and the only difference is I don't have a box I'm cutting it open out of. It'll be the first time I've opened it. But this is a ProTech that is not one I see every day. I think he put a Lynch clip on it because there's the ProTech clip, or a Benchmade Lynch clip fitted. So what we have here, guys, is we have a River's Edge Cutlery standard sized rock eye. So this is not the little rock eye. I think the SBR is what they call it. This is literally your full-sized rock eye. So the size of the knife when I first saw it was perfect. It's a great size knife. It is also one of my more desirable ProTech designs. I think it's a really cool Les George collaboration. I like the black over the green, but the fact that it was available at all and in green, that's just fantastic to me. A to Z was able to put this Lynch Benchmade clip on it. It had the exact same hole pattern, which kind of surprised me. But you've got aluminum handles here. You've got stonewashed hardware, which really just consists of these two body screws, actually three, and the pivot. This is an automatic, so it absolutely flies open with that button, as all ProTechs do. So what you've got here is you've got on the clip side, you've got the Les George Maker's Mark, and then you've got ProTech USA, the blade steel, which is S35VN. It has a very strong spring, but I can one hand close it. Automatic knives are easier closed with two hands, but a knife like this has a deep carry clip, has fantastic ergos. I would call this a tactical style, hard work, bust through metal straps type of knife. It's got fantastic jimping on this forward spine here that really help you direct that pressure down on the blade. It's got a thicker grind because it is a harder use knife, but it's still very slicing. Where this knife shines is its ability to pierce through cans, to pierce through car doors, to pierce through wood, really whatever you need it to pierce through. So the ProTech SBR rock eyes that I've seen are a much smaller knife. This guy, and again, this is an unboxing, not a review, but because it surprised me, I want to share it with you. This knife is a full 8.5 inches, give or take, with a 3.5 inch blade and a 5-inch handle. So you do have a dictated grip. You can't really get it in front of this trigger. You can. I've got enough room where that sharpening choil does not get in the way. The sharpening choil is a little wonky. Your plunge grind does come up a little close, but you've still got plenty of sharpenings. Super sharp, nice, coarse ground blade with a really nice spine. We'll get more detailed measurements on this when we do the review. And it's an S35VN. Again, you have to really grip this knife when you deploy it because the button is so snappy and the spring is, like ProTech's, very strong. That's what I love about them. They're just such good knives. They're so functional. I used to not like autos. I had a Kershaw auto and then I got a ProTech Newport. After that, I've graduated into several, like this ProTech Strider S&G, which the Rockeye standard is going to sit a little longer than. And then I've also got the ProTech Magic Whiskers 3, which is a full-size knife, and it comes in just a tiny bit over the Rockeye. So the Rockeye is what I would call every bit a full-size knife. I've got one more ProTech out here we can look at, my Mordax, which I look at as a full-size knife, but the Rockeye is going to come in, if I go butt to butt, about 1/8 of an inch longer than it, with the Mordax being more in line with the S&G Strider. So those are just a couple of quick size comparisons. We'll do some more reasonable size comparisons when we do some reviews and we look at this knife after I've had it in my pocket for a while. I can tell you I really like this short lynch clip. I did not get to try the knife with the ProTech clip on it, but A to Z made it sound like it was a problem for him, so there's no need to put it back on and struggle with it. You do have a lanyard hole here, which this lynch clip, fortunately or unfortunately, does obstruct. So if you're a lanyard user, this particular lynch clip's probably not going to be your best bet. I don't use lanyards. This knife feels like a beast in the hand. The short lynch clip, I do not feel at all. It feels like much more than a Slurpee saver. It feels like a knife I could really put some hard work through. It's got very nice blade thickness, and then a nice flat ground. This is about 3/4 of the blade flat. You've got these aluminum handles that join up without a backspacer, so you're not getting any debris in the backside of the knife. Got a nice stop pin there. You've got it's a hex screw, and I do not have a hex out here that's going to be that size, but I'm guessing I think this is a 3/16, the biggest I have out here. I think it's going to be, let's see if I've got a bit just to tell you, because that's one thing, if you ever, and I don't take apart automatics, but if you ever need to tighten it up, Torx bits will work in hex bits, but you're more likely to strip it. This is a 3/32, which is what it is. So this is a 3/32 hex bit. That's a Weehaw that's got a little rust on it, but again, I don't use those bits that much because I don't have a lot of knives that work on them. But just remember, 3/32 hex, and I'm betting that those body screws are also 3/32 hex, and they're not. So that must mean they are one size smaller. This is not a Weehaw bit. 80H2, I don't know exactly what size this is, but it's the hex size that's smaller than that pivot. So if you've got a hex set or hex bits, you get the 3/32. If you want to get a complete bit set, you might get the 1/16, the smaller one, and then a couple of size biggers, and that should cover most of your USA made knives that don't use Torx. A lot of people ask me, I had a person on a comment today ask me why Hinderer used non-proprietary hardware, because a lot of people think of Torx, which we all like T8s, as being proprietary hardware. Well, Torx is part of the metric system, and it's adopted overseas, and the Asian manufacturing population uses it. A lot of American manufacturers use it because it's become a staple, but the hex is a U.S. empirical measurement, and that's typically what U.S. makers are going to use. They're going to use 1/4 inch, 3/16 pivot. You're not going to see a lot of 5mm, 6mm pivots. It's one of the things that tipped off some of the sleuths when we had an American knife or a import knife trying to pass as an American knife. So just one of the things to look for when you're taking apart your American knives. They may have torques, but look at them real closely because it's very easy to see if they do in fact have hex bits, which are just as available, just as easy to come by, and you don't need a bunch. But if I can get a good view on that, if you guys can see that, that shows you what the outline of that bit looks like. Let's see if I can find the torques. I don't think I have anything around here that's not a ProTech. Okay, the Malibu. See, that is a Torx bit versus a hex bit. So it's easy to check even without a magnifying glass, but just always make sure your bit fits tightly. That's the easiest way to not strip out your screws and to not put unnecessary wear and tear on your screws. But this is the ProTech Rockeye, aluminum in the River's Edge Cutlery olive drab green. I am looking forward to carrying this and letting you guys know what I think about it. I can already tell you from handling it for the last 10 minutes that it feels like a great knife. I love the low blade profile. I've always been a Les George fan. I've always liked the look of the smaller Rockeye. Somehow I was just not aware that this knife was still available, especially in new circulation. But it's an S35VN, nice stonewashed blade, nice jimping on the top of the blade, and just a winner, guys. I look forward to sharing it with you. Thank my buddy A to Z EDC for letting me check this knife out, as well as his Strix. And hopefully he'll continue to let me try out some of his cool knives to bring to you guys. But I appreciate you. If you're still here by some chance and you haven't subscribed yet, if you would please hit the subscribe button and the bell notification icon. Only takes you a sec and it really does help the channel out. And all I ask is please look out for the guy or gal to your left. Please look out for the guy or gal to your right. Please look out for each other. Go forward with love in your heart and choose to bait, not hate. I love you all. Peace.